Hey friends, Tony from Tax Res Group with a great topic just brought to me by a realtor friend of mine. He was talking about people buying a house and using their 401k for a down payment. How does that work? Many people think, oh, if I buy a house, I can use my 401k without penalty. Wrong. If you're under 59 and a half and you take money out of your 401k, you're going to pay a 10% penalty and tax on everything you take out, with the exception of the first $10,000. That you'll take out without penalty, but you'll still pay tax. So if you take out $100,000 in your 401k, that's adding $100,000 of income to your total for the year. Puts you at least 22% tax bracket, means you're going to owe $22,000. You're also going to owe 10% penalty on that $90,000. Remember, the first 10 didn't have that. So that's $9,000 more. So you're at $31,000 of taxes that you'll have due at the end of the year after you buy that lovely nest egg. Got to remember, having and wanting are two different things. Before you get emotionally involved in real estate, and I've been accused of not being real emotional when it comes to things, and I'm really not, I look at finance. And taking money out of your 401k, people don't understand what the back end of that is, which is a serious tax burden coming to you because you took money out of your 401k instead of leaving it. Now, if you're over 59 and a half, you just don't pay the penalty, you'll still pay tax. So $100,000 out of 59 and a half, still going to cost you 22 grand in tax. So what you could do is take out $122,000, have $22,000 withheld, pay your tax off the top, so you know you're going to pay that, or even $30,000 because of the penalty. Put all that in off the gate, you can do that and take the rest. So you're going to borrow 100, take out 130 and get 100, the rest is going to go to the tax man. That will help you when it comes to filing. Borrowing against your 401k is another one people say, well, I'm going to borrow against my 401k. Well, let's talk about the financial savvy of that, and I think it's important you understand. Your 401k is made up of what? Pre-tax dollars. You haven't paid any tax on it. You put it away pre-tax. Okay, great. Okay. Now, you're going to take it out and use it, right? And you're going to borrow $100,000 and you're going to pay that back. How does that get paid back? Post-tax dollars. Now, you've paid tax on your W-2 check. You have that. Now you're going to send money back into your 401k after tax. So it's taxed on going in. And when you retire, guess what? It's going to be taxed again going out. So you're going to pay tax twice on that dollar. So if you're in a 25%, 22% bracket, just double it. You're going to pay 44% on all the money you borrowed. So borrowing against your 401k, if it's a dire situation, I get it. But you'd be better off just withdrawing the money, honestly, because you're only going to pay tax once on it. And if you can put money in to catch up as you get older and make up for it, great. But borrowing against the 401k, really not a savvy idea unless it's absolutely necessary. Now, what do I mean by absolutely necessary? I need a kidney transplant. Absolutely necessary. I want to buy a new car. Not necessary. I want to buy a bigger house. Not necessary. I want to go to Cabo. Not necessary. Victoria's Secret's got a sale. Great. Not necessary. Very important that we separate the choices between I want and I need. All right? I want are things that you want, but you don't have to have. I need is I need this to stay alive, or I need this to stay whatever. That's a need. Need for shelter, need for food, need for clothing, all a need. Everything else is a want. And just because you want, don't sabotage your future by giving in to your current status. My big suggestion here is this. Don't buy things you don't need, and don't buy things you can't afford. Believe it or not, nobody cares. Your neighbors, your friends, your family, you are who you are. Having the bigger, better, best thing really isn't going to change their opinion of you, maybe make them a little pissed off at you. We want to make sure that what we want to do with a 401k is one thing and one thing only. Put money into it until we're retired. That's what we want to do. How do I do that? I tell people when they first start out, put 10% in your 401k. And every time you get a raise, whatever that percentage is, just put that in your 401k. Don't take the extra money. Why? Because we live to our means, right? If we're broke, we live like we're broke. If we have a little bit of money, we live like we have a little bit of money. If we have a lot of money, we buy all kinds of stuff, all kinds of toys, Sea-Doos and motorcycles and jets and boats. We buy all that stuff because we have all this money, we think, right? If you just discipline yourself to keep maxing your 401k till it gets to 25% so you can put $23,000 into it every year without changing your lifestyle, you'll be further ahead. The law of doubling money every 7 years or even sooner tells me that if I'm in my 20s and I put $2,000 away once, I'll have more money than somebody starts in their 30s and puts $2,000 away for the rest of their life. That extra 10 years matters. So don't wait till you look like me to figure this financial stuff out. It's very important. So here are 3 tips I have for you for 401k. 1, don't borrow against it. If you have to take money, just withdraw it. 2, don't withdraw it unless absolutely necessary. Buying a house, if you think that's absolutely necessary, okay, I would say buy lesser of a house. That's not the house you're going to die in. It's just a starter as a rule. These are first-time home buyers usually who do this. Don't do that. Buy a smaller house. When it comes to real estate, single-family houses over condos all day long. They appreciate faster, they depreciate slower, they don't have an HOA as a rule, save you a lot of money. Yes, you'll have a smaller house and you'll have to take care of it. That's the offset, but I'd always go with that. 401k, put as much as you can into it as soon as you can. For individuals this year, $23,000 maximum contribution, put it in. If you're old like me, I get an $8,000 bump this year, so I can put in $31,000. But please, don't let your older self hate your younger self by making decisions that will affect you. As I tell everybody I know, don't wait till you look like me to figure this out. Let me help you now, set you up on a path to success, so when you retire, you can do all the things you want to do. You'll have all the money in the world. You won't have to think about, if I do this, I can't buy food. If I do this, I can't pay my bills. You won't have to think about that. It's very, very important to use our 401k as leverage to retire the way we want. I'm told.